Hello, everyone. Welcome to Intellipaat's live webinar on building a quarterly sales forecast dashboard using Tableau. Today's webinar is being conducted by Mr. Deepak Nagpal, who is a senior expertise in big data analytics. He has more than 10 years of experience in the field of big data analytics, Tableau, business intelligence, and strategy. I'm pretty sure he has a lot of wisdom to share. So, without any further delay, let's welcome Mr. Deepak into the session. Over to you, sir.
Hello, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thanks for the introduction. And so, what we are going to do today is in today's webinar, I'm sure all of you work with data in your organizations or in your work, right? And many times you have to deal with forecast, right? You based on historical data, you need to create some forecast, and uh, creating forecast can be a tedious process, but you'll see the magic when we create forecast in Tableau. What we're going to do is we are going to create a forecast, a quarterly forecast for sales, and not just that, we're going to add some important KPIs to that forecast, and also we're going to add a map of a map projecting a map that will give you an idea about the state-wise sales, right? So we will quickly dive into it. Okay, great. So I'm going to open Tableau in front of you, and there is no work done. Everything that I'm going to do, I'm going to create this dashboard from scratch. I'm going to import the data set into Tableau in front of you, and then we're going to create some wonderful visualizations, and from there we'll weave all those visualizations into a dashboard. So let's get started. Okay, first step, I'll take this data set. This data set is a dummy data set for a e-commerce superstore which sell its product across different categories and subcategories across US, right? So this data set has around 10,000 transactions and 10,000 orders. The transactions are split into orders, right? So I have three sheets here: orders, people, and return. The details of sales is in the order sheet. So I have linked Tableau with this data set. Installation guide, we'll discuss that later, right? Installation guide is available, right? I'll discuss that later. First, let's concentrate on this activity. Okay, so I have I have linked Tableau with the data set. I'll just drag this sheet into the white canvas, which is called the data model section. And as you can see, as I drag this order sheet into the data model section, the data the data flows into Tableau. You can see this data has around 9994 transactions. So all of you can see this. Let me just pinpoint that here. Yes, all of you can see this data has 9994 transactions across 21 fields. Fields means the columns. So there are 9994 transactions, rows across 21 variables, and these variables are order ID, row ID, order ID, the date when the transaction was made, then the ship date when the order was shipped, ship mode, how the order was shipped. So you can see there are 4 ship modes here: first class, same day, second class, and standard class. Similarly, we have customer ID, we have customer name. There are segments to which this company ship its products. It ship products to consumer, corporate, and home office. So there are 3 segments. This the sale they make is only for US, so you will find only one country in it. Then the city, there are more than 600 cities they had shipped the product. Then there are 49 states. Then the details of the postal code. Region, there are 4 regions in which they have shipped the shipped the products: central, east, south, and west. Then product ID is there, then category, subcategory, product name. Then we have, in the end, you can see there are some measures, or you can say matrix, like sales, quantity, discount, and profit. So this is how our data is structured into. Now, what we are going to do is I'll go to sheet 1 and I'm going to start creating the quarterly sales forecast. So let me bring in order date to columns. I'm going to, okay, so I have the order date into columns. This is a blue color, means it's discrete. It's right now in discrete format, so I'm going to convert this into a continuous format in quarterly time interval. So I have changed this time order date into a timeline. Now this is my timeline on quarterly basis. I'll bring in sales to rows, and it has already created a line chart for me. This is a line chart for 4 years. You can see it right from the year 2014 till 2017, and quarterly sales uh, for these 4 years. So now I'll go into the analytics pane, and therein you have this option called forecast. All I have to do is just drag this forecast onto this pane, and there you see the magic. You have the forecast. Just a second. Okay, so you have the forecast along with the historical sales. I'll just drag it out. Now I have the forecast. I'm going to just name this sheet, and before I name this sheet, I'm going to add some labels. So what I'll do is I'll not add all the labels. If I add all the labels, it might get too cluttered in the dashboard. So I'm going to add labels only for minimum and maximum values. Okay, so now I'm going to name this sheet as quarterly sales forecast. Okay, let's name this as quarterly sales forecast, and let me do some formatting. Let's keep it 18 for now. Let's keep it 20. Okay, so we have quarterly sales forecast ready. Okay, next, quarterly sales forecast. I'm going to add a new sheet, and herein I'm going to create a map of US, because the sales, this company is making sales only in US. So I'm going to create a map of US, dragging. First, to create a map of US, I am creating a location hierarchy wherein I'll bring in country, then state, then city, and then postal code into the hierarchy. Now I have the location hierarchy created. I'll double click on state, and there you can see the map of US on the screen. So how easy it is to create map on Tableau. You can just see within just a couple of clicks I have been able to create a map of US. I'm going to bring in sales onto the size, wherein now the size of the circle represents the sales in each state. Okay, so let's make, and now I want this circle to be split, to show me the split of the category wise sales. So I'll just select pie chart and move. Okay, let me put segment. So segment to colors. So you can see very easily I've been able to create a pie chart showing the segment wise sales for each state. Let me add borders here. I'll just add some borders. Okay, I'll go to map, with map, background light, map, there's light is there, fine. So now what I'll do is I have the map showing me the split of sales by segment. So map, I'll name this as map. I'm going to add some KPIs, important KPIs to my dashboard. For that, I'll create KPI 1, which is going to be the total sales 20 So this is my total sales, and I'll bring in, I'm going to bring in sales onto text. Now I have the sales value in this sheet, but it's really small, right? So it's not readable. So what I'll do is I'm going to change, just a second, width. Let me put width. Now I'll just align this centrally. So click on this formatting. First, I'm going to align it. Okay, first let's increase the size. Font, I'm going to increase it to 22. Then I'll do the alignment, centrally aligned. I'm going to use the Tableau bold font, and I'll further increase this 24, right? And let me use blue color for sales. So I'll change this color also to blue. So this is my, okay, now herein, as you can see, my sales is running into millions. So I also have the option to choose the number format to million. So I'll put it in million, 2.3 million. And I'll further, I think I'll have to further increase the, okay, let's increase it to 2.26. We'll see later, right? So now I have sales metric created. I'm going to duplicate this sheet, create a second KPI, name it as total profit, apply, okay. I'm going to use green color for profit. So, and replace this sales value with profit text. Okay, what happened? I'll have to format this again. I'll format it, use 22, Tableau bold, centrally aligned, and font size was 26. So I'll use the same font size here, 26. Okay, so I'm going to again use the green color. There you go. So now I have two KPIs ready. I'm going to duplicate this again, and I'm going to this time create another third KPI called profit ratio. So let's create profit ratio. I'm going to use a different color this time. Let's use orange. Change this. Now profit ratio, if you notice, in our data, I don't have a metric called profit ratio, right? So I only have sales, quantity, profit, and discount as my matrix, and rest these are dimensions. So I'll create a small calculation, name it as profit ratio, and the formula is sum of sales, or sorry, sum of profit by sum of sales. So this creates a metric called profit ratio. Wait, something was sum of profit by sum of sales. Let me create it. Okay, I just missed a bracket here. Okay, now, so now I have this metric created, profit ratio, which was not there in my data set. So I'll just drag profit ratio onto text, and I'll just do the formatting, 26, centrally aligned, and I'll use Tableau bold. Okay, now my profit ratio is in decimals, which I don't want. I want the profit ratio to be in percentage terms. So I'll change this percentage, I'll change this decimal into percentage terms. Click on profit ratio, default properties, number format, percentage, 1 decimal, and there you go. So now I have 5 things ready with me: sales forecast, pie chart, and 3 KPIs. Okay, and I'm going to do one more thing in the sales forecast. sheet, I'll add category filter, so that if I want to see the dashboard as per the category, if I want to filter my dashboard for any of the category, I can do that. Also, I'm going to add a segment filter. So if I want to view the dashboard for any particular segment, I can filter that out in the dashboard. So I have these two filters. Now we'll straight away go into the dashboard, and dashboard is the second part here. Right now we were using this first icon. Now dashboard is the second icon. So I'll click on this icon. This is the default dashboard. I will resize it to the size that I want my dashboard to be. So I want it to be this and 550, so that now this is the canvas which completely occupies my screen and there is no space. So it is maximizing my view. So now we are going to start creating the dashboard. To create a dashboard, Tableau provides you with some containers, and in those containers you can put the visualizations. So these are the containers. I'll drag this vertical container into the dashboard. Okay, I think I'll just put this as 50. So I'll bring in this container. So this vertical container is going to hold my visualizations vertically, one stack below the other, right? So let me bring in the sales forecast. Okay, I'm just removing these filters for now. We'll bring it again later. So this is my quarterly sales forecast. Then I'm going to bring in the map, and this is my map. Okay, let me rename it state-wise sales, state-wise segment sales. So let me, okay, perfect. So now I have these two visualizations in the dashboard. Okay, let me resize this smaller. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the KPIs that I have created into the dashboard. KPI 1 is sales. So I want this KPI to be below these visualizations and charts. So for this, I'm going to add a horizontal container below the vertical container, and there you go. I'll bring in KPI 1, then I'll bring in KPI 2, KPI 3, okay, this, and KPI 4. Oh, 3 KPIs, and I'm going to create a blank sheet and just remove the name. I'll tell you why I'm creating a blank sheet. I'm going to, right now I have 3 KPIs, but I also want to add filters to these, right? So for that, I'll bring in a blank sheet, which is sheet 7, and here. So on this blank space, I'm going to bring in my filters. Okay, I will also change this total profit into thousands. Okay, so this total profit, I'm going to change this profit. Where was it? Okay, click here, format, select pay number. I'll change this to thousands. What happened? Just a second. Number, okay, custom K, yeah, 1 decimal. So now my profit is displayed as K in Ks, and my sales is displayed in millions. I'll further increase the size of this. Let me 26 to 28. Okay, let me put it 30. Okay. Similarly, I'll just increase the size here to 30, and for third, I'll again increase this to 30. Okay, so pretty neat. Now I'm going to bring in my filters here, but before I bring in the filters, let me add a title to my dashboard. So I'm going to bring in a text container wherein I'm going to add a title. Let's add a title: quarterly sales forecast and key and important KPIs. So let's increase this to 30. Okay, tab. Let's put this to 28. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm going to centrally align this, use a different color. Let's put blue color, and there you go. Right, so now our dashboard is taking shape, but what I'll do is I'll just add color on these KPIs as a background, right? So I click here, format, background color. I'm going to just select as blue here, as green here. So background color I'm going to take as green, and then here I'm going to add a background color as orange. So you can see how fast, once you get a good grip on Tableau, how fast you can process and create create dashboards. Okay, so this, now I will bring in my filters. So this is fine. Let's bring in filters. Okay, click here. Sorry, click here. Here, filters. I have a category filter. I'll make this floating and bring it here. Similarly, I just don't need this space, so I'll just cancel it out. I have my filter which is now floating. Floating means I can just put it anywhere I want. Okay, let's put it here. So this is our first filter that I've brought into the dashboard. Now I'm going to bring in another filter into the dashboard. Filter, filter segment. Make this floating and bring it here. I don't need this space again. So there you go. Now I have my filters on the screen, right? So if I just take a look at how this dashboard is looking like, so still there is some work to be done. So what I'll do is, first I'll just centrally align, select category. I'm going to increase the font to 12 and centrally align this Tableau book. Let's put Tableau book this time, and similarly select segment. Again, I'll increase the font, Tableau book, and centrally align it. Centrally align it, Tableau book. There you go. So now I have the filters. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I don't want these grid lines to be visible, right? So what I'll do is I'll go into the sheet and I do format and sum of sales. I don't want these grid lines. So wait, yeah, sales, then lines, rows. I don't want these grid lines, so the grid lines are gone, and now I have a clean background. Okay, so we are almost done with the dashboard, but yes, one very important thing here is Now, if I apply a filter, you can see that filter is not changing my KPI. So I have to make this filter apply to the entire dashboard. So right now the filter is only applied to the sheet from which it came from, the parent sheet, right? So similarly, if I just see the filters segment filter, it is only impacting my line chart, right? But I don't want this. I want these filters to be impacting my entire dashboard. So what I'm going to do is I'll click on this filter, apply to worksheet, all using this data source. Similarly, this filter, apply to worksheet, all using this data source. And there you go. Now, now the filter, whatever category I'm selecting, it's impacting even the KPIs. Look at it. KPIs. So I can very easily see how my technology category is. What is the sales for technology category? What are the profit coming from? What is the profit ratio for technology category? If I want to see this for furniture, and accordingly you can see the sales forecast are changing, the segment sales are also changing, right? So, and now when it comes to segment, even now this is my home office sales, this is my consumer sales, this is my corporate sales data, right? So my corporate, as you can see, my corporate sales, if I just look at the corporate sales, they are contributing to 0.71 million of the sales. They are giving me a profit of 92,000 and with a profit ratio of 13%. If I want this to be along with, I want to dig deeper, I want to see corporate sales with technology. So now this folk dashboard is just concentrating on corporate sales that came from technology category only, right? So these filters really help you slice and dice and make the dashboard more, you can say, you can make it more productive, and it can help you get more out of a single dashboard. So this is our, you can see, our final dashboard, and I can apply filters, and accordingly the KPIs and the maps are going to change. Okay, so let's do one more thing. I'll just change on the map. I'll just change the size further. Okay, I'm going to add the sales also on the map. So I'll just add labels. A lot of labels come in, a lot of overwhelming information is there. So I'll reduce the size of these labels, and there you go. So if I don't want all these labels, I'll just go to labels, min max, and it is going to give me only the labels for the selected. If I just select a particular pie, only the sales will appear for that. Okay, so you can see how easy and powerful it is to create a dashboard with Tableau, right? Let me just little bit changes I'm going to make. I'll just reduce the size to 18, and here also I'm to reduce the size to 18. Okay, let's see now. Perfect. If I want, I can add, let's add shading. I'll add shade here also. Let's add share onto the title also. I'm going to add a shade there also. Wait, format. Okay, so our dashboard is ready, and you can really slice and dice your data and generate the required insights from the dashboard. To look at the forecast, right, I can also add a trend line here. I missed this. Okay, so this is a trend line and it is showing you the model, right, of this trend line. Okay, so trend line can be added. It shows you the, yes, you can in the forecast trend, I can use these other models as well. Okay, so whatever model you want to, you can use these. Okay, then thank you everyone for being wonderful learners, wonderful
Thank you everyone for attending the session. Hope this session will brings you a light for your career path. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the session. Thank you everyone for attending the session.